So this is going to be the tutorial video of the last trick I actually showed. So if you didn't see the performance video, I will leave that in the description down below. And before I actually get into the tutorial, in case you're wondering about the cards I'm going to be using, for the last video and now this video, these are the Lady Moon playing cards. Now, I do have a deck review on these, so I will leave that down below in the description. And I also won these as part of one of Card Mechanics contests. I think it was either 13K. I think it was actually his 13,000 subscriber giveaway. I don't remember the number, but the video down below will actually tell you. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. So what do you need for this tutorial? So obviously you're going to need your cards, and you're going to need the card box, and it's going to need to be empty at the start. So starting off the effect, I like to show the spectator that the box is totally empty, and this is actually going to help sell the illusion for during the trick for one of the moves. Not really a move, but you're gonna end up using the box. So you can either do this with a little setup or no setup. Excuse me there. So I'm gonna show you how to do it with a setup at the end. So this is how to do it with no setup. So the spectator can shuffle the deck like this. And when you're done, you're gonna take it back, and you're gonna turn the deck face up, and you're going to start showing them all the cards are different. And all you're gonna be looking for is any five. So it can be the five of spades, it can be the five of hearts, it can be the five of clubs, or it can be the five of diamonds. Doesn't matter what five. So I like to go through and show these are all different, and I usually go with the second or third five I see. So I go through, and right here I see the five of clubs. So all I'm going to do is keep my middle, ring, and pinky on it. And I can actually now put my index finger on it, and I can actually spread them better. So once you showed all the cards, you're going to square up everything, and you're going to lift up at where this index finger break is. Now you don't want the spectator to see that, so the entire time your hand is going to be tilted down like this, because you don't want them to see this little break. But I'm showing it to you for tutorial purposes. So you can square up, and you're just going to lift up with your index finger, so this big block of cards on top. You're now going to put your other pinky in there, so this one, not the pinky across from the index finger that lifted up, but the pinky that's actually holding the deck here. So put it in, and you can actually put the deck down and square up everything. So now you have a pinky break. So now all I did was I grabbed everything from the break and I cut it to the table. And now it doesn't matter how you cut this half up. Now something really quick I want to go over is when you have your break, you can't cut in multiple packets, because here's the five. You're actually going to lose it somewhere in the middle, and that's no good. You're just going to lift up at the break, put it down, and then you can cut this top packet any way you would like. Now, at the end, I will show you another way you can actually cut. You can actually get a 5 to the top. And actually, the 5 on top of the deck is the setup I'm going to show at the end as well. So, now that you have a 5 on top, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to need a card actually controlled to the bottom of the deck. So you're going to need a card controlled to the bottom of the deck, but you're going to keep the 5 on top. So what did I do in the performance? All I did was the convincing control. Now, I do have a tutorial video on the convincing control, so I will leave that down below for you to check out. But really quick, I'm going to show you what it looks like exposed. But I'm not going to teach it because I'm going to link the video down below. But you can also feel free to do any other control you would like as well. So what I did was I spread through, I had them touch a card. Let's say this one. I'm going to take this card above it, and I'm going to put it right on top of the deck while lifting up everything. And while I'm lifting up everything, I'm just going to use my thumb to pull back this top card, align it with this card they touched, and by the time my hand comes up, I can move down this upper packet. I can clip the card with my middle finger, move down the bottom packet, and now I can show it to them. That is the convincing control. So for a more in-depth tutorial, you can check down below. Let's say they touch this card. In this case, okay, we have the same one that Jack has spades. So all I did was when I lowered my hand like this, I did the call. Now I will leave my tutorial for the call down below. So I went ahead and I used these fingers to slightly pull out their card. Not too much though, because you don't want it poking out like this. Okay. So I pull it out some, and then I pull it down. And then I can pull it back. Check the tutorial down below for the convincing control and the call. So once it's out, you should hear it pop, and you should be able to hold it like this. You can now spread the rest of the cards underneath it, therefore controlling their card to the bottom. So the spectator can push in their card, meaning the 5 is on top still, and their card is on the bottom. So here's what the convincing control might look like. So we have a card, let's say this one. In this case, we have the 4 of diamonds. So the spectator is going to remember the 4 of diamonds. They're going to push it in. We have the 5 on top, even though that doesn't matter. And then we have the 4 on the bottom. So, once you have the card on top and on the bottom, here's the next move. So you're going to spread out the deck and you're going to explain that they're going to take out a packet of cards from anywhere in the deck. Now, the only thing is you don't want the top or bottom card taken out. So what I like to do is actually spread the middle of the deck, sort of like a fan, so they can really take out any of these. So let's say we take out this many. It doesn't matter. You could add a few more or take away a few more. So for this next part, actually, make sure you don't flash the 4 on the bottom either. So for this next part, the spectator could actually do this, and all they're going to do is spread out the packet of cards. And while they're doing this, so let's actually get this into frame. So while they're doing that, you know their selection's on the bottom, so you're going to need to catch a break above it. So all I did was a pinky count. So I moved my hand down like this. I think I moved it away from the camera, and I just did a pinky count. Now, I will leave my tutorial for the pinky count down below. Another thing you could do is you could actually riffle with your thumb one card down and put your pinky in. And the last thing you could do while the spectator is spreading these out, and another thing is they could actually shuffle these too, which creates even more misdirection. And then they can spread out. But you can just spread to the bottom of the deck, eye this last card, lift up, so contact with your fingers, the second to bottom card, lift up, put your pinky in, and then square up. That's what you could do. But any way you want to do it, you now need to get a break above that card. So once you have the card, here's the next move. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over and you're going to put everything into a thumb break. So I move over my hand, I put my middle finger on this top left corner, ring finger for the middle of the deck right here, and pinky on the top right corner. Now my thumb is going to be in the back, and it's going to actually hold the separation of the card from the deck and then the rest of the deck. So if you want, you could actually move it down a little more, which might help with this next move. But now all you're going to do is you're going to move your hand over the top. I like to have it down pretty close. And all I'm going to do, this is done all at once. I'm going to square up all this big packet of cards. And once it's squared up, and you want the cards pretty much touching this break card and the deck, I'm going to lift up with my thumb. My other thumb then can then clamp down on top, and then I can lift up the deck. Meaning you put their selection on top. I'll go over that one more time, one or two more times. It's real easy. So your hand is over the packet like this, and you want it pretty close to help with the move. So I'm going to take my other hand, I'm going to square up this packet, and once it's squared up, you're just going to let go with your thumb, clamp your other thumb right on top of that card, and lift up everything. It's a real simple move. One more time, I'll do that, but really slow, just so you can see. Because if you don't do this move right, then the trick isn't going to work. Okay, so I'm over here. I'm going to square up everything. And it's probably good to have misdirection and look them in the eye too while doing this. But once you're here, you're just going to let go with your thumb, clamp down with your other thumb, and you can lift up, pull away this top deck, and now you can square up this packet. You can rewind this part a few times to watch, and you can also check out how I did it in the performance video. But now once that card is on top, you're gonna actually put these in the box, okay? So this is why I showed the box was empty at the beginning, because now you're gonna put a packet of cards in there. They might think there's trapdoors or other cards in there. So I like to show them one more time the box is empty. You don't have to though. So I know it's really dark in there, so they can actually feel in there too. So you're gonna put these right in. There we go. And close up the box. Now I like to leave it where they can see it too. So, for this next part, you have your 5 on top. So what are you gonna do? Well, in this case, I did either the cross-cut force or the crisscross force. Now, I'm sure you can do any other force you would like. You just want to force the 5. But the reason I do the crisscross or criss-cut force, because there's going to be a lot of time delay. And that's a big thing when you're doing this force. So I will leave my card forces video down below if you want to do any other force. Just make sure there's some time delay. Or actually there doesn't have to be time delay, just for this force. So all you're going to do, you know the 5 is on top here. So they're going to cut about half. It doesn't have to be though. And they're going to take this other half and they're just going to cross it. So either like a T or diagonal. I'll bring it out just so you can see it. So now you basically want to sell the illusion that they cut the deck and they mark the cut, and this is where they cut the deck. But if you don't have enough time delay, or if your spectator is really attentive, they will know that this is actually the top half of the deck and this is the bottom. So they didn't really cut it. So that's why you want some time delay. But this is why you're now going to do the next move and you're not going to rush it. You're going to go to your box now and you're going to say, okay, let's see how many cards you actually took out. And now you know their card is on top. So you took the cards out face down, you turned them face up. So now their card is on the bottom, and you know you have a 5 on top. So now all you're going to do is catch a break above their card. So you can do a pinky count, or you can riffle. I, for this part, do a pinky count. Once again, links down below. And I'm going to come over into a thumb break. So once again, my 3 fingers are like this, index is curled on top, and thumb is going to come to the back and hold the break. I like to have it off to the side a little, and now I say, okay, let's count and see how many cards you have. So all I do is I come over, I take my thumb, I just apply some pressure and just, come across. So I count 1, and then I come over and I'm gonna touch the card with this break card, which is a selection, but I'm not gonna do anything. Then I'm gonna come over and say 2, and that is all you're gonna do. But when you get to 5, you're gonna do a move. So you're gonna go 1, you're gonna touch everything, and then come across for 2, and then touch for 3. Now for 4, excuse me, and now for 5, you have the break card. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put the 7 on top, but you're gonna drop this break card on it first. So I like to come over, and all I'm gonna do is put my pinky right in there, lift up with my thumb, and then peel off the 7 for 5. So now you have 6 here. I'll go over that one more time. So we have the card here. I'm going to touch everything. Okay, so I'm going to square up this break, put my pinky in, lift up in the back, and at the same time, I'm going to peel the 7 on top. So it's almost like the biddle trick you're doing. One more time, I will go over that, but you can watch the performance and you can also rewind this. I'm going to come over, I'm going to line up the break. I like to put my pinky in there and actually pull down a little on the break, lift up with my thumb, which will now bring up this top half, and then I peel off the 7. But you're not going to count this as 6, even though you drop down this card, because you want that to be a surprise. So actually, this is 5. So let me show you that. We have the break. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you're going to count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and also keep in mind how I'm also coming over, line up the packets each time, just for consistency. So I think that was 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So once you have the packet, you can put these back in the box. So make sure you do that pretty slow and not too fast. And also while you're doing that, you can say, look out for your card as well. If you see it, let me know. But now once you show them, they're going to tell you that they didn't see their card. So then you can say, okay, well, let's see where you cut to then. And if you have enough time delay, this is going to sell really well. So you can lift up, or the spectator can do this, put the packet away, and they can turn over this card and see it's a 5. And most of the time, the spectator will say, that's not my card. And you can say, well, I never said it was going to be your card, but maybe this is an indicator card. So maybe your card is 5 cards down, and you can point to either packet, okay? But I like to point to the other packet, and this is going to get them thinking, okay, maybe my card is 5 cards down in this packet. And then you can say, well, it might be 5 cards down, not in this packet, but in the box. And then they're really gonna think, and they're gonna say that's impossible. So then you can come over, snap your fingers. And I like to say, okay, so we had a 16 cards before. So if we had 16, your card would make it 17. So I like to pick up the box now. I can take out the packet. I can say, okay, let's see if we have 17. And I'm going to turn the cards all face up, but I'm going to leave the fifth card face down because that's their selection. So I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I leave this face down, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I guess we had 14. Here we go. 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we had 16 cards in there. Forgot the other cards. And then they say they won't see their card here, and then you can have them turn over this card that was in the 5th position, and it is their 4 of diamonds. So that is the effect. I hope you really enjoy that. Now this is definitely one of my longer tutorials, but really quick, I'm going to show you number 1, the setup, and then I'm going to show you a way you can do this also without cutting the deck. So the only setup here you can do, which is really easy, is take any 5 you would like and put it on top of the deck. So when you bring out the cards, you already have the 5 now. You're just going to have to go into the rest of the trick, having them choose a card and then controlling it to the bottom. The only thing is, if you do have a setup, I recommend some false cuts at the start. So then when you do the selection process, it won't seem as weird, I guess, by pulling them right out of the box and then going into a trick. It'll make the deck look mixed up. So I will leave my false cuts down below. A lot of stuff gonna be left down below. And the last way you can do this is actually a way I described in the tutorial here, which is the call. So you can go through, you can show they're all different, and once you see a 5, for example, the 5 of diamonds, you're just going to call that right out of the deck, showing these are all different, okay? Now normally a 5 wouldn't be on top, so we can show the 4, that's fine. And now the 5 is on top. So that is the tutorial for this trick. Now the next tutorials hopefully won't be as long, but I hope you really enjoyed this. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with a new video. Bye.